Everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm really excited today. I'm kind of doing this video in spirit of some of the stuff I saw online. Teton Crest Trail permits went up the other day. I did Teton Crest Trail last year in the summer of 22. Had a really awesome time. It was an incredible trip, a great just like backpacking adventure. It was tons of fun. So in spirit of those permits going up, I figured I would do a little pack shakedown, show you guys what I took on my Teton Crest Trail trip, and some of the things I wish I would have had, some of the things I didn't need, and we'll kind of go through there. Before we get started, like, subscribe, help me out, help the channel. If you like what you see, you want to like kind of get alerts or whatever when new stuff is up, like it and subscribe. Helps everybody. So let's dig in. We went in like mid-July. I think it was the second or third week of July. And one of the things that isn't going to be pictured today, because I just borrowed it from a buddy. If you need one, you can rent them while you're there. But I carried an ice axe, carried it the whole way. We were probably the last people that they recommended carry an ice axe. And when you get to the section where they recommend you have it, yeah, if it would have been iced over and glacier over, I would have really wanted it. But by the time we got there, carried it the whole way. By the time we got there, enough of it had melted and the trail crews had cleaned it up, and he didn't need it, but definitely would have wanted it. So not going to show you guys my ice axe because I borrowed it from a buddy and gave it back to him. But if they are recommending, if the ranger station is recommending you carry an ice axe, highly recommend you carry one. The other thing I don't have is a bear can. I rented a bear can or borrowed a bear can from the ranger station. They're free. You just pick them up. And they're like the little ones with like a little key, or not a key, but a like a quarter. I think I ended up actually using my ice axe to open it most of the time. Or you could use like the back of your spoon or something. You could probably use a knife. It might be a little dangerous, but a quarter or nickel or something is usually what works best. So those are the only two things I think that I really just don't have here. Unfortunately, I just don't have my own bear can. Just used theirs last time. So otherwise, we'll get started and I will show you guys what I took and talk through a couple of things that I wish I had taken and a couple of things I brought that I definitely did not need. All right, cool. So first thing was my pack. This is kind of my older pack. I just replaced this actually with this Durston Kakwa, but this is a pack that Patagonia made as the first like kind of backpacking pack I ever bought. I really like this pack like a lot. I have a lot of Patagonia packs because like they just fit me really well. Both my ski packs are Patagonia packs. And I think this is called the 9 Trails. They actually don't make this pack anymore, which is a shame, but it'll kind of stay in my rotation, probably get passed down to my wife or somebody as my backpack, an extra backpacking pack. But this is what I carried. I think if I remember right, it's like 30 or 42 liters, but maybe feels a little bigger because it can extend up. And it's got some big, like real stretchy pockets on the outside. Definitely didn't need any more than this. Probably actually could have taken, I think I rolled the top down pretty well. So you could have gotten away probably with a 35 liter if you're like compact enough. But yeah, this is the pack I started with. And then I brought, it wasn't that cold while we were there, at night at least. And we were sharing a 3-person tent. So, 3 dudes in a 3-person tent. Got warm, so it was fine. But I brought my REI Magma 30. Haven't felt the need to replace this yet. These are great bags. I think for the cost and the weight, just really awesome. I have the Magma 15 as well for nights that are a little bit colder, or I sleep really hot, so like I'm usually always in the 30, or my wife sleeps really cold, so she might take the 15. But for this trip, just brought the Magma 30. Stuff that. Let's open this side up. So started with that in my pack and pushed that down. Now, kind of fun fact, I forgot a liner, or like a compact liner, or was it like new foam liner. So I didn't actually have a liner to put this in. So I happened to have, I had brought this initially for my brother to take, but then I had a 40 liter rain cover, like a duck's back rain cover. So, there's that missing little carabiner for my thing. But I ended up bringing this just because I forgot that pack liner, and really just like out of precaution, we ended up not seeing any rain. There's a little, I guess there was a little bit of rain right when we got up to the top of the tram where the waffle place is. We took the tram up, which is another story for another day, but we, there was a little bit of rain there, so we just waited out. And that was the last time we saw rain. So I brought this just in case, because I didn't have a waterproof solution for my bag. But that was, I didn't need it, but I had it. The next thing I would have put in here would have been my my bear can with my food, or at least like the sleeping food. I would have pulled out lunch or snacks and put them in my hip pocket. I didn't grab all the food because that's just kind of a lot. I don't have a trip coming up, so I didn't want to go buy a bunch of stuff. I'll put the food in the lighter pack and the links that I have a pretty dialed in food routine when I'm out there. There's just like Cliff Blocks for some sugar and jerky and oatmeal and that kind of stuff. But I would put I then put my bear can right there on top to help smush all this stuff down. And that would have kind of packed everything down, would have worked really well. And then I won't necessarily go through this in order because I would have done a lot of my clothes next. But the other stuff I had, at least for like a sleep system, wouldn't have brought this in the stuff sack, but for the case of this, Thermarest Neo Air Uberlight. This is my pad. It's really comfortable for me, although my tent mates complain it sounds like I'm sleeping on a bag of potato chips, and I move around a little bit, so not really my problem, but a little bit noisy when you're out there. So something to keep in mind if you're with somebody sensitive to the noise. But again, like I couldn't hear it because I was asleep. So, and then I also had my Sea to Summit ultralight pillow. In the case of not using stuff sacks, I have lost it, so just threw that in there. And that's kind of it as far as a sleep system. And then since we were sharing a tent, I had the Rainfly, which was kind of funny because we ended up not really using it. We put it about half on, carried an MSR Hubba 3, and it was not mine, so I just grabbed my MSR Freelight Rainfly to kind of demo. And I've got this sort of elastic spot on the bottom of my bag, and I would throw it underneath there if it was wet, which it usually wasn't. But I'd usually throw it under there, make sure I didn't drop it on it, set it down or anything to tear it up. But if it was wet, I'd put it underneath there and let it dry out a little bit. But otherwise, I might just stuff it in here or put it in something and put it down there. All right, next up, I did another video about this. This was the last trip that I carried my Jetboil Micro Mo. I've had this thing forever. I love this thing. It was like one of the first things I bought when I started like kind of backpacking, and I just kind of was time to upgrade. This stays in my truck now. It's a great stove. I'll link to the other video, but this was the last trip with the Micro Mo. So, it went out with a bang, was solid, worked really well. And then I think I had my long spork, for eating backpacking meals. All right, cool. Like I said, so I carried micro spikes. I think I picked these up on Amazon actually, just like on Prime Day, right before we left. But I carried micro spikes, never used them. But seeing, some of the stuff that was out there, if it had been a couple weeks earlier, probably would have thrown them on. But obviously just didn't need it. Didn't need it for this trip. And then I did carry trekking poles, which definitely needed used the whole time. And these are the Black Diamond Alpine FLZ. Forget exactly which ones these are. Yeah, Alpine FLZ. So these are 120 to 140s. A little bit longer ones that I carry. So carried both of those and definitely used them the whole time and needed it for some of the ups and downs. I also carried my Black Diamond Storm R, which is my headlamp. Have another little video that I'm working on about replacing this. Just big, heavy. But it works really, really well. It's very, very bright. Some random chargers, Anker charger, charging cables. All of these usually get thrown more like in the top pocket here. And then I did carry like a hard copy of the map, just, I don't know, because safety, I guess. But I slid this down in the back. There's a hard section back here that I just slid this in, just in case you needed it, in case you got lost or phones weren't working or whatever. Bear spray. This is sitting up front. This was on us the whole time. Never saw a bear. Did see a moose. Was pretty cool. Despite apparently there was a bear in the camp the week before. I'm just going to set this to the side, but kept the bear spray on the front in the pocket in the little holster thing. So it was good to have. And then all my little essentials. Kind of updated this recently, but toothbrush, toothpaste, sunscreen, all of that went in. I didn't really have a ditty bag, but just this little top pocket here. First aid kit, pretty minimal first aid kit. There's some like super glue and a couple band-aids, Q-tips, ibuprofen. That's about it in my first aid kit there. Did carry a small knife because I always carry a small knife. It's just a little Gerber knife. Usually goes up in my front hip pocket. And that was like that. I do usually carry a compass. Just again, I don't know, more out of worry than necessity. I carry it and then just never get it out. One thing I carry that's a little weird that I actually use every single time is this Sea to Summit clothesline. So I'll get into my clothes in a little bit, but like I will use this in camp, string it up between two trees, let socks air out, that kind of stuff. I guess if I'm trying to go like super light, like I don't need this. You can just hang it up in trees, but I do find it's kind of nice. I also, if I'm solo, I'll string this up on the inside of my tent at night to hang stuff up and let it kind of air out a little bit. Just something that I carry that's like a little nice to have. And then, shovel, toilet paper, the whole shit kit, just stashed right there in front. Bug spray. There was only one night that it was really buggy. We slept next to a little bit of still water next to a running stream. There's a ton of like snow and glacier melt off, so like there's kind of water everywhere. But did carry bug spray. Did kind of need it one spot that we camped. And then let's see. I think I got an extra Ziploc bag that was mostly just trash, kind of remnant stuff. I talked about this in another video. This was my water setup. I ran an inline Sawyer filter off of a bladder that was stuffed in my pack. I have another video about this. I would definitely not do this ever again. This was awful. I talked about in the other video what I do instead. Now that I kind of got from a buddy. Sorry about that. But this is what I used. I took 3 liters because there were some sections when you get up onto like Death Canyon Shelf that kind of said water might be sparse. Water was never sparse in mid-July. Water was everywhere. We never had a problem. So you could definitely get away with just carrying maybe even just like a liter if you wanted to stop every time, 2 liters. But I think like even every place we camped, there was water pretty close by. So depending on the time of year, check in where water is. But you definitely slim down how much water if you're going early season and it's like this year's a huge snow year. So I reckon there will be snow there until late July. But yeah, that was kind of it for the equipment. I don't think on gear there was really, other than the water setup, there wasn't any gear that I would really change. I think my gear was pretty good. I think all the changes that I would make are in the apparel. So let me grab some of the apparel and we'll talk about that. All right, let's talk apparel. When we were there, we got really lucky. There was no rain. There was no rain in the forecast. It rained a little bit once, but it was windy. So I was kind of prepared with some light rain gear, but not a ton. It was also really warm during the day, which is great. And the sun was out. There was no cloud. We had like picture perfect weather. It was really awesome. So my everyday wear that I wore on trail every day, it was actually, this is Cotopaxi Sombra sun hoodie. It is, it blocks the sun. It's breathable. It wicks moisture. It's a great piece. I also really like it because the hood's a little oversized and you can I'd pull it over my hat, create this nice little awning to protect the moneymaker here from the sun, so I didn't get too burned up on my sun or to get too burned up on my face. I did wear this hat because I always wear a hat. And then the shorts that I wore, where'd they go? Were also from Cotopaxi. These are the Cotopaxi Valle shorts. These like really quickly became my like everyday summer short. I have them in 4 colors now. No liner, 4-way stretch. They kind of wick water a little bit, to like normal front pockets, and then a zippered back pocket. Um, these, like, I wear these every day in the summer. I wear them paddle boarding. I wear them climbing a bit. I'm not a big, I don't climb a lot in shorts, but if I'm in the gym, I'll wear them and it's hot. And I wear them every day. Pretty much throw them on. You can do everything in them. They were awesome for this trip. Like I said, wore them every day. They were great. And then I also wore, I will bring, I wore spandex, spandex underwear every day. And then I also bring 2 pairs of socks. I thought I had them both out here, but maybe I only had one. A really thin, there's the other one, covered in dog hair, of course. A very thin merino wool that I'll hike in during the day. And then I also have a thicker pair that I will sleep in at night that just are a little bit warmer. Also, just kind of nice, I don't know, having 2 pairs of socks. But those are the things that I will kind of strip off when we get to camp, change into other stuff, hang up, let them air dry, let them dry out a little bit, and then kind of have this bag to put everything in. Like I said, it wasn't rainy, but it was kind of windy. So I brought the Patagonia Houdini, just as a really lightweight wind and like light rain. You could get caught in the rain and be okay in this, but mostly just for wind. I brought this as a wind layer. I would throw it on at a couple of passes and a couple of peaks. We ended up having lunch at the top of like Paintbrush Divide one day and needed to throw this on because it was super windy, but kind of good, lightweight, small piece. I initially brought pants. These are Black Diamond. I forget the name of these. These are Black Diamond pants. They are, moisture wicking, lots of pockets, all that kind of stuff. I wore them for about the first day and then immediately took them off and buried them in my pack and never got them out again, which is probably some degree because of the weather. Like I said, it just wasn't cold. It wasn't windy. I didn't even need to sleep in them, which I'll get to why, but I had them, didn't need them. I also bring another pair of underwear to sleep in just to change. And then as an insulation layer, I kind of just had a pair of Patagonia long underwear top and a long underwear bottom. These I just slept in and also had as kind of like backup if I got cold, but never got cold. These were just, ended up just sleeping in these, and they were good. And then last but not least, I was originally going to bring a different coat, but kind of threw my coat epoxy Fuego in at the last minute. This is my down coat. This thing's really warm. It's 100% RDS down, so super warm coat. And then I also ended up kind of using this to sleep, and I would just take it and fold it, roll it up into the hood, and put that under my neck as like a neck roll. So use the pillow with this under my neck and was super comfortable while I slept. So a few things on the apparel side, like I said, that I didn't really need. I didn't need to bring pants. I probably didn't need to bring a change of clothes to sleep in. Stuff that I like kind of know now. Probably didn't need 2 pairs of socks because it was so warm and sunny. If anything got wet, you could have just taken it off and thrown it on the back of your pack or in a tree or something, and it would have dried out, pretty much immediately. Didn't need to bring the duck cover. Ended up kind of just putting it in front of the tent every night to, kind of step on barefoot when I took my shoes off. I did hike in boots. I hiked in Salomon. Let's see, what are they called? Salomon X Ultra boots. Definitely could have used a pair of trail runners instead. Would have been way more comfortable. But those boots are super comfortable on me. So all Salomon shoes are. So I thought those were good to go. Otherwise, I don't know that there was too many other things that I wouldn't have done. I think if it was going to rain, I would have swapped my rain layer and brought. I would have swapped my rain layer and brought a little bit like heavier rain jacket, like a legitimate rain jacket, versus just the Houdini, which is like kind of rain, but mostly wind. Um, I think everything else would have been conditions appropriate, but otherwise I was pretty well dialed in. Other than like replacing some things to cut some weight, which I think I've done in the meantime. So hopefully, if you guys are doing Teton Crest Trail, you guys have a really great time. You get great weather. The Rangers are great. All the whole thing is great. Make sure you take the right tram. We took the wrong tram. Ended up taking the Brigadier tram instead of the Aerial tram. So we got a nice little bonus hike up to the top. Kind of worked out okay. But otherwise, if you guys are doing Teton Crest Trail, let me know how it goes. If you guys have comments, leave them below. Like, subscribe, and thanks for tuning in.